There we go. All right. So to get you on board with what we've got, or what we kind of had conversations about, I'd like to welcome everybody back to another edition of the podcast. This is Dad's Podcast Project. Today I have a guest, first time guest on this podcast, multiple time guest on the other podcast, and it's Chris.
Yo, glad to be here.
I wanted to talk to you about when you should have children, because we've had this conversation before about finances and when is the best time to jump into having kids. And now I know that I have my reasoning or how I went about it, but you're kind of taking a different approach, I think. And
disclaimer, I don't have kids, by the way.
Yeah.
So everyone knows.
So for those of you who don't know, I mean, Chris has taken a much more financially responsible approach. Whereas for myself, it was sort of, I'm getting older. I need to have kids. It's time to pull that trigger. Let's get going. So when it comes to taking the time to think about it in a financial sense, what are some of the things that are going through your head when it comes to having kids? Because clearly you have the time to sit and think about it. Whereas me, I mean, I was already old and gray. I was feeling a lot more like, like I'm going to be an old man at these parent-teacher conferences. So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have, it just happened to be better timing. I would say the choice to, right? Like I have the choice to wait.
Yeah.
So we decided to wait. And that is pretty much everything. Like just being able to have the ability to wait. If I am where I am in this situation, but like, 5 years later, then that would definitely change everything. I think that I would be more along the lines of, okay, we're getting kind of up there. We'll just try and make it work. And we'll either get a second job or we'll cut out, stop going out to lunch to eat every day, dinners at home and stuff like that. But I was fortunate enough to where we were able to put it off a couple years until we got settled and have a little bit of a cushion to be able to do this. My brother, for example, though, it was a unexpected one. And it definitely made me take a look at, am I really ready? But I mean, I don't think anyone really is, right? I say you're ready, but
it's amazing how it just sort of all falls into place.
Right. It works out.
Yeah. But I mean, if you have the foresight to plan for something like this, I think that that's clearly the best route to take. But even then, when you prepare, you're going to hear it from every direction. There's going to be people that tell you, oh, it doesn't matter how much you save or whatever, you're never going to prepare. But right. I kind of think that you can, though. I mean, you can knock out big bills. You can put up a savings account, and there's a lot of things you can do.
Right. You might not be as prepared. Like everyone says, you're not going to be prepared. There's all these things that come up, but you certainly won't be as stressed.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the big thing is my brother's stress level versus where I'm going to be stressed. It's going to be completely different.
Dang. When we mild flex on the brother.
Weird flex, but okay.
Yeah. First dad flex right there.
Yeah. So.
And I mean, I can definitely speak from experience in regards to when we kind of decided to have our son. It was like we decided in the moment, and then it was like, wait, are we ready? And then at the end of the day, it was like, well, it doesn't matter because he's coming whether we're ready or not.
Right.
So
exactly.
I think that for me, I had the ability to knock out one of the big bills that we had, and that's how I prepared for him. And then we were fortunate enough to have a lot of family who was in a position to donate clothes,
right?
Because his cousin is just a couple months older, and so we kind of had that help. Had our daughter been born first, we kind of would have been, up the river on that one, because none of her cousins were close to her age. So,
yeah, I think that getting family support is also a big thing, right? Whether
Yeah.
you're ready or not, or financially prepared, getting having family support is everything. And even like for just babysitting and stuff like that,
Oh
that's one
yeah.
thing that we won't get out here in California that we have to calculate for, right?
Yeah, you got to ship your
Take account
baby
for.
off to
Yeah,
the East Coast.
yep, send them in a crate.
And that's one
But
of the
yeah,
things that does kind of go away. Like the longer you wait, the older the grandparents are going to be, and they might not
yeah,
want to watch your children. They might not have the
that is
energy for that.
true. There, no.
Yeah, I mean they may be off on vacation doing whatever. So that's another thing to consider. The longer you decide to wait, whether or not
Right.
it's waiting based on financial reasons or career reasons, I think that you know I don't know. It's sort of a toss up. Like there's really no one right or wrong way. But what are some of the ways that you've been preparing for this, like with regards to keeping that cushion and stuff like that?
Just like, for example, not paying off my car. I have a pretty decent interest rate on it. It's not like crazy high or anything like that. So instead of like, oh, I'm going to use this cushion of money that I have to pay off my car, I'll just keep the car payment on, for example, and just keep the money for whatever adventures come up, you know?
Yeah, because they will.
Um, yeah, exactly. Right. So it's, you want to have like an emergency fund. Um, and so just trying to keep that plump as possible and
Yeah,
not go crazy. Oh, I'm gonna go buy a boat. Like, why would I do that? Right? There's no reason to with possible upcoming expenditures. Just
yeah.
being smart about your choices and not overextending your bank accounts to where you feel uncomfortable.
And then have
Gosh.
you guys been preparing with regards to making some of the baby purchases already, or are you gonna wait until it's like, all right, now the baby's set, the baby's in, the bun is in the oven. Now we're gonna start making
I
purchases.
think, yeah, I think we're gonna wait till that. Just make sure there's no complications like that. You
Yeah, you don't want to
don't
do
want to
two
get
things
our
too premature.
right. And if something doesn't work out or whatever,
Yeah, then you kind of stuck with like a crib and a whole baby room.
yeah.
That can be
And
depressing.
being super depressed. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think we're just gonna wait until we get the go ahead or the good news, right?
Yeah, and even then, I know that my wife and I we decided to wait before announcing, and we announced like to immediate family, like our parents knew as soon as pretty much as soon as we knew, but then the rest of the family, it's like again we wanted to have that cushion. We didn't want to jump the gun and then complications may come up.
Yeah, and something happened. Yeah,
Yeah, and then social media was like the last to know, but
yeah.
some people make a parade of it. Not saying that that's wrong, but I mean, are you planning like a big social media rollout? Do you have like,
I've got it all set on timers. No, and I don't even know if we're gonna really do a gender reveal party. Maybe we'll have like a little. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do anything. To be honest,
those get
did you
pretty,
guys do something?
um, I kind of thought of something creative. Like we went to Target, we were just running errands and it was like, hey, let me just take a picture of these baby Converse. And I did a black and white image of baby Converse. And that's how we announced to social media. And then once we knew the
Yeah,
gender, um,
you
because they
colored them
were,
in.
yeah, I colored them in. They were black, so I mean, I could color them any color I
Whatever.
wanted to, and that's kind of how I went about it. But even then, it's like
Okay.
I wasn't showing pictures of like, what's that called, sonograms or
Yeah,
infograms, Instagrams. I
you didn't
wasn't.
like explode a balloon and all blue
No,
chips come out or something.
we didn't do that. I mean, I've been to one where a couple has done that, and I mean that's on them. That's what they want to do, but we weren't releasing doves or colored
No, colored
balloons.
dove. Yeah, no.
Yeah, having people slice into their cupcakes, and it's like what
There's,
color jellies inside. We didn't do
yeah.
any of that stuff. I think that
I don't.
just it makes a party for the sense of having a party.
Yeah, I don't really see. I don't see us doing one.
Yeah, y'all seem pretty low key, anyways. I mean, pretty mellow. So
Yeah, I'm not all out there in everyone's business. So
So, has there been anything like that you've read with regard? Because I know you're a money guy when it comes to finances. This guy crunches the numbers, and
all of them.
are there any numbers that you can give to anybody listening, like in terms of maybe percentages that they should have saved up, or like what level of a nest egg that they should have with regards to? I know when it's like you're putting up an emergency fund, it should be like, what is it, 6 months of
Yeah,
salary?
6 months of your all your expenses, right?
Yeah. So I mean, are there any numbers like that you've looked into or researched with regards to preparing for children?
I'm pretty sure that all the money you can spare, right? Like all of it. No, I haven't seen any specific numbers. I haven't looked up anything.
So
But I'm
you
assuming the
switch
more the
that keep
better,
the
right?
change. Yeah, you switch that keep the change thing with the bank, and you
Yeah,
just round up
yeah,
every purchase and just dump it into
yes,
the baby fund.
yeah, yeah. I haven't looked into anything specific. I don't know any numbers off the top of my head. I know it's super expensive, and that the more you have, the easier it is, right? So
Yeah. And that's another thing too. I would encourage parents or people who are future parents out there to look into their insurance, because our son, I mean, it's going to sound however it sounds to you is how it sounds, but our son cost us $75. That's how much that's how much he cost when he was born, at a 22-day stay in the NICU. I mean, we saw the bill and it was tens of thousands of dollars, and then we saw our bill and it was $75.
that's crazy good.
Then our daughter was born and we saw the bill, and then we saw our bill and they almost looked the same. It was like, what's going
Ooh,
on here? Yeah, our daughter was expensive. So
huh?
fortunately, I guess maybe we had that savings from that we could have had from him transition over for her. But looking into your insurance and knowing how much this
Right.
baby's going to cost might give you a good basal level. Is that the correct term? Is that the correct financial term, basal? Or is that just only when you're talking about metabolic? Uh,
I've never heard that term used in finance,
oh,
but
okay. So it's new.
we can
It's a
make it
new.
happen.
Okay. The basal level
Okay.
for, for your baby's finances. And those emergency funds too. You got to know how much an ER visit is, because a couple days after our son was home with us, he was kind of breathing funny and we didn't know what it was. I mean, at new
Right.
parents, you're
Yeah, that's
nervous.
crazy. Yeah.
And it's like 2 a.m. I'm like, all right, well, let's just go to the ER because the doctor's not going to see him right now. So we go to the ER and $750 tab right there for, oh, he's fine. He's just, it's kind of nasally right now.
He takes after his dad,
Yeah.
you know.
Wow. That is a
Dang.
low, medium, and a high blow right there. That was like a full body 30 hit combo. I was like,
You set
what?
it up, man. I'm gonna slam dunk it.
All right, man. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on this podcast. This is Chris's
Yeah, of
first
course, man.
time on Dad's podcast project, talking about dad stuff. We may see him a lot more in the future if and when this baby comes to fruition. And so,
Absolutely.
yeah, hopefully this provided some feedback or some information that a lot of you guys should consider when having children yourself. Definitely building that savings, having that nest egg, not only for your own emergency funds, but just for having children in general, and seeing how much they're going to cost you. Because your insurance, it's going to break it down, breaks down how much it costs to stay. If you're admitted to the hospital, make sure you stay there, because as soon as you leave and then you have to come back, that tab starts all over. Like you got to pay that. It's like they don't give you a stamp on the back of your hand. It's like, oh yeah, come back. This isn't Disneyland. You got to pay all over again. So, so sort of little tidbits for you guys out there that might be
The hospital's
interested.
not Disneyland.
Yeah, the hospital is not Disneyland, and find a place that provides free lunch, because I mean you're gonna be there for a while for some people, and you definitely want to eat. You don't want to be bringing some of that Popeyes chicken into the hospital when a lot of moms in there might be on a restricted diet. So, yeah, that's it. Right on, man.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, of course, man.
All right, you guys. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this podcast. And as always, till next time, see ya.